Hello there.
Hello, everybody. We
Hello.
are the Jedi Archives, and today we are going to go over a review of what we've done in the last 20 years, something like that. I forgot how long it is.
This is our third annual.
Yes,
Third
Since
annual.
we do comics, this is our third annual.
our third annual, correct.
But first, I'm John.
I am Bryce.
And I'm Mike.
All
And
right.
happy third birthday, VC Jedi Archives.
And just a quick overview. We are Jedi Archives. We're part of the First Red Cantina Network. And we just do reviews of mostly just comics, but we have introduced after shows, which we get really good
Yes.
at. And this week, we're going to also do an after show of The Acolyte. So Monday, we're releasing a pre show, Our Hopes and
Even
Dreams.
though it says after show on our graphics, it is a pre-show. We promise.
we're going to do pre show, and then Friday, we're going to do an after show we talk about. And then every week, we're going to do an after show of The
Be a
Acolyte.
lot of after shows
So,
this year.
yeah.
because
So,
we
and
ain't
then
even done.
every 2 Sundays a month, first and third Sundays, we do the Jedi Archives review
Sundays.
comics,
Yeah, if there's
So,
ever a fifth Sunday, we're off.
and that's who we are.
Yep. So welcome. So we started this journey together on that first Sunday in June, on June 6th, 2021. And now here we are, 3 years later, celebrating our third annual, sharing our love of comics with all of you. And so just to review this past year, what we've been through, the beginning of our third year, we wrapped up the final issues of Phase 2 of the High Republic, closing out The Blade by Charles Soule. And in The Blade, we got introduced to the story of Jedi Porter Engle, which is really cool because at Celebration, I remember distinctly Jonathan telling me, "Man, we need him. Why do they call him the Blade of Bardota? We need something just specifically to find out." And lo and behold, we got it. So, I know
And
Jonathan.
yeah, when they
And
talked
his-
about in Phase 1, here's this old guy who's like a cook, but he was really good
yeah,
when he needed to
makes
fight.
really good soup.
Yeah,
Stew.
9
Yep.
potato soup or something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah.
but
But he's old.
yeah, but when we see him young, they did not exaggerate. Yeah, I
He's-
mean,
he's-
he eyes closed, 1,000 lightsabers at him.
Saber master. He
yeah,
is a
he-
saber master.
He does it
Wow.
nonchalant too. He doesn't even have to try it. Then when he
Yeah.
does try, it's kind of scary how good he can get. So we
Yeah.
get a what is it, like a 6-issue run of him, something like that. And
Mhm.
I think it was
but
4.
it's
wasn't it?
it's
It was
still
4.
is it 4? And it's just the
Mhm.
first half. I still think we're gonna get the second half later, right?
I hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so.
I think there's more of him coming. Yes, in Phase 3, like probably the end of his journey.
Yes, yes. Because this Phase 2 wrap up was 382 years before Battle of Yavin, so it goes way back. And it also introduced us to his sister. He calls her his sister.
Yeah.
They had a really close bond with
Almost
Barack
like
Sylvain.
adopted sister, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause they were both Jedi. I think they
More
were
of an
younglings together and
More of an
Padawans together.
empath, if I'm not mistaken. She
She's
was like more of
she's
an
one
empath.
that can never forget anything, right? So she never forgets anything. So and yes, she is an empath. She feels everything too. And in this issue, it was about a conflict on planet Gansivor, and it also we got introduced to General Abadiah Vise, who's a Mirialan female mercenary army at the request of Tozin, the field marshal of the Bethune army. And I
Looks
think
like Skeletor.
yeah, and plus I think Bryce, you brought it up that it had a lot of connections to like
Iliad and the Odyssey.
yes, and
Yeah.
I was thinking Lord of the Rings, but
No, it's
No,
definitely
I think
Troy.
we've had some Lord of the. I think it's more of like the Battle of Troy,
Yeah.
kind of thing. That's how it kind of played out. But
And then to the end, it totally flipped the script, which is good because we all thought this is like story
Yeah.
for story, the same story. It was really interesting.
they
And then
did
the
flip
end, they're like, I gotcha. So if you
Yeah.
haven't read it, go back and watch our videos. It's great. Go read it. It's a great little story. It's really good.
it's
It really she's a great
very good one.
character.
hmm It's probably all collected now, right? Is it have they released it out in one collection? Probably, right? Blake?
There should be a trade paperback with
Yeah.
all 40. Yeah, I had an individual. That's just who I am. I gotta have all. The
Yeah, me too. I've got the individuals too, but I know those trade paperbacks collected all.
Yeah,
it's
they
a lot
usually
more
do them in
affordable.
volumes.
Yeah.
I So
Then from that, we went on to phase 2 of Marvel's The High Republic 10-issue comic series. What do you guys
Who
remember
was?
about those?
I don't remember that at all. Who was that one? Who was the main character? Was that Oh my God, what's her name?
Shadows of
Keith?
Starlight. Yes,
Shadow.
Shadows of Starlight.
Oh, this is Keeve,
It
and
follows them. It
she
follows them
beca-
after the
she goes
right,
undercover,
it
right?
starts
Yeah.
like within hours of Starlight Beacon falling to
on that
a
planet,
year
Arano,
later.
right? Is it Arano or that planet in the ocean? It fell into the ocean.
We do a
Iram.
lot of reviews.
Iram,
Is it
'cause
Iram?
It's
Is it
Iram and
Iram?
Arano. They were in the Forever War.
Yeah,
it was
which one is the
but
water?
the one that has ocean, not the dry one. So not the desert one. It was the water one, the water planet.
So it was Iram.
Iram, okay, but
Yes, because
it starts off with that.
Arano's the desert planet.
And so it starts off with it follows all the Jedi and what they're doing. And at this point too, we don't know what happened to Buryaga, right? So
But we do.
yeah, spoiler alert. We do find out
Did
he's okay.
Did we really start 1 year ago, right after the fall of Starlight? So that's really interesting. We almost started a year ago, right at the start of phase 3. So that's really cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's one of the
Works really
one
well.
of the notes that I had put at the end is that coincidentally, so when we introduced the High Republic Phase 3, it coincided with our 3rd year of BC Jedi Archive. So it's pretty cool. That was unintententional, but it was by the will of the
No, it was
Force.
totally.
No.
It was
We
by the
worked with
will of the
Project
Force.
Come
Luminous,
on.
and they included
No.
us. We were in the storyboard rooms, and
Yeah,
this is what you're doing.
don't out us like that.
It was the will of
part
the
of the
Force.
plan.
And I've got my High Republic shirt on, so with Ember.
Yeah, I still need to get that shirt.
So, and then we went on to Dark Horse Comics, The High Republic Adventures with Quest of the Jedi and the Nameless Terror miniseries, which was really cool. What are your favorite highlights about either one of those two adventures? Quest of the Jedi and Nameless Terror.
Well, the Quest of Jedi was a one shot, the one with Claudia Gray.
Yes.
It was good. I really liked it. It was like I said, that was one that I was looking forward to because I think that was Claudia's first like comic book that she wrote.
Yeah,
so
she
it was
knocked it
kind
out
of
of the park.
interesting, like, you know, and she has so many really great books behind her, like The Lost Stars, and what was the first young adult novel, the one that took place on Axmine Station? I can't remember the name of it. That was a really good book, and
Yeah, Max.
That was a
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good one. That's
that was a really good one.
I just remember how nervous she was too. She was super nervous because she had never done a comic.
Yeah, and it
there
turned
was
out
one
great.
interview. It was one interview with
great.
her and Daniel Jose Older, and she was like so worried. And then he's like, "Oh my god, you know, she's just a natural." It was great.
Well, because like when you look at like Kevin Scott, you look at Charles Soule, and you look at Daniel Jose Older, they do both, and they've been doing both
Right.
throughout all the phases. But Claudia's been doing the books and
Only
then coming
books.
in and doing that comic. I was very much looking forward to that, and I really appreciate that comic. And that's actually one of the comics, if I ever know she's going to be at a convention, I probably would pick up an extra copy just to have her actually sign that one.
And of course, you guys know I love it because it has a sexy Jedi. So I'm always around for sexy Jedi, sexy, mature male Jedi. So, so one of my favorites.
But
John,
I don't remember the issue at all.
it's got the sexy Jedi.
Not Vildar Mac is the other
No,
one.
When
another
he says
one.
that, I think of Vildar. It's like,
No, he's like
No, because I remember there's like a panel because why I
panel.
remember it so well. There was one panel where the guy had his shirt off.
he wakes up and he's like,
Yeah,
half
he's
asleep
got
and
hair
his
all over
chest
his
is like-
chest, and
yeah, I'm
Mike,
like,
and we probably sat there on that review for a good solid 5 minutes with just that panel,
just
and Mike
on that
talking,
panel,
and Mike talking. So that's how I know it wasn't Vildar Mac.
No. Although Vildar Mac, thank you, Kevin Scott, was confirmed. He was partnered with Taserek, so I love it. They did live together, and they were happily ever after until
on
Vildar
Jeddah,
died.
yeah, on Jeddah.
Yeah, on Jeddah. So, and the other one was the Nameless Terror miniseries. That one was I liked it a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
one was cool.
Did I cut you off?
no, I just don't remember what the issue is about.
Okay.
Remember
they went to that
that issue, Path of the Jedi, or what's it called?
they
Quest
no
of the
the Quest of the Jedi. They went to
It's
that
just about
water
a sexy
planet.
Jedi.
it was a water planet with like islands, and they were going to starve to death. So they
I
went
remember
there,
the covers. There was like 2 covers. I remember that.
and
There's the
remember that
waves.
there was a
Yeah.
Yeah, the
like a
blue one was the
there
main
was like
cover.
a Sith artifact that was harming them,
I remember
and they all
now.
had like
And they kind of
Jedi
go there like, we're
powers.
just gonna take this from you. It's kind of
And she turned evil
bully,
like, no, you
but
can't
it
take
ended
it.
up they
Yes.
needed to take it from them. I remember
Yes.
now. Yeah,
Now
they
you
took it
remember?
from
Yeah.
them, and then they all got better. I
And
remember.
actually it was connected to a later part of the story with the guy who took out his eyes, right? What's his name? The Jedi who took out his eyes.
Oh yeah, we
Oh yeah,
see.
yeah.
He was connected
Um,
to that too. Because he was young doing the investigation of this, and then when he's older and he takes out his eyes because of the nameless.
but
Yeah.
later when we see him, he's working for the Storm, right? He's oh no, he's working with Yoda.
No,
Yeah,
that's a
Yoda brings him in to see if he can
Yoda
get
Yeah,
brings him
information.
in, and he ends
yeah,
up turning and causing a lot of chaos.
But he just says
yeah,
that he had to do this because
Yeah.
he knew it had to be done, but he's been
Yeah.
corrupted.
yeah.
And
You're
yeah, that
thinking of
was
the
pretty cool.
doctor, Jonathan. There was like a witchcraft doctor, and then he got involved with the Nile.
There's a lot of characters.
That's
There is,
This one did not work with the Nile.
just so you guys know, you haven't
right.
done the High Republic. There is, I want to say,
There,
1,000 characters.
there's,
But most of
There's
them
a lot,
die, so it's okay.
yeah,
but it
it's
is a
better to
lot to
have like the
remember.
huge board. You can have a
Yeah.
huge board,
Yeah.
but you can draw a lot of X's.
A lot of X's, yeah.
I remember Phase 1 came out. People were trying to do like the board, like have all the faces next
That
to the
was me.
names.
That was
And
me.
then those just disappeared after like that's too much. Too much.
Well,
There's too
but
much to do.
they do have the High Republic character encyclopedia. So if you do want to know more about
Now,
each
I think I
character,
have
but they
they
that.
didn't
do
have it
have
at the
that.
beginning. They didn't have it at the beginning
Yeah.
when we first
But
started reading.
I'm really looking forward to later this year getting that High Republic lightsaber book to go along with the Star Wars lightsaber book.
I saw that teased one time, and then every time I go back to try and find pre-sale, I can't find it anymore. Is it
It's
back
gone.
up?
I don't know.
I haven't
I mean,
seen
I
it.
have the lightsaber book that's the Star Wars one that's like rectangle, and then I saw
love it.
one time I saw the one that said the High Republic was. Oh, I gotta get that.
Yeah.
And then when I went back to like Amazon to pre-order, it's like disappeared. I've never been able to see it again. So I'm hoping they still
Yeah.
decide to make it. Maybe they're waiting until after Phase 3, or maybe after the Acolyte to add some more. from
According to
Acolyte.
this, it's supposed to be out August 27th.
So yeah, maybe they waited to add some
After the
Acolyte stuff
Acolyte.
in it. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So the
Well, that
Nameless
makes
Terror
sense.
miniseries, the Nameless Terror miniseries had it showed us how like the origins of the Nameless Terror, where they had the eggs, and
Yep.
remember they crash landed, and
Yeah, some of the
there were
eggs
two ships
hatched.
there.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. Then we went on to Dark Droids, and we also did something different with the Summer of Snips watch-alongs.
Oh,
of
yep,
course,
we did
you know,
do that.
We had
Yep.
the Star Wars Life Day #1 because Star Wars Life Day. Whenever Life Day comes around, we've got to acknowledge it. So what are some of your favorite thoughts about Dark Droids or the Summer of Snips?
So I just want to say, Dark Droids was fantastic.
He
But
loves
my
Dark
favorite
Droids.
of the year, just how different it was. I mean, it was everywhere. Oh my god! And then its companion, which we'll talk about later, I think was the
That's coming
D
up next.
Squad. We'll
Yep.
get talking about
Next.
that. But those were just fantastic. I absolutely loved them. Just with I think the only 5s I gave ever.
We're during that series. Yeah, we know.
Oh my God.
We know.
Dark
I think the
Droids,
only
yeah.
5s I've ever
And
given.
for John to give a 5 is like,
Yeah.
It's like a
so I was-
10 on a scale of
Yeah.
1 to 5.
yeah, for real.
But what I liked about Dark Droids was it was a very cool series, and obviously the D Squad was a very lighter hearted kind of version of it. What I
That's coming
liked
up
about
next,
it was it was a nice different take from like our usual comics that we've been doing, because we're doing all the High Republics. To be able to incorporate the Dark Droids and stuff like that was cool. So we branched out a little bit, which to me was a huge highlight.
And it was nice because it also coincided with Halloween, and I think it was very appropriate for
Yeah.
the whole Halloween macabre, bloody, gory. It was really good. And another one of my favorites about it was all the interconnections with all the other series, and all right, because it was connected to all the other comic series as well, and it was very well done how it was connected. So I loved all those connections. then
Summer Snips was fun. I want to say that was fun because that was
Yeah, it
almost
was very cool. And we
our
had Ashley.
version of
Yep.
connecting with everyone. So
Mhm.
all
Mhm.
Virtual Cantina got involved in this. So that was really cool. So we
Mhm.
all got connected. We actually, what we did is we did reviews of the
Tales of the
Tales of
Jedi. We
Jedi.
did the
Yeah.
Ahsoka.
The
We did the
Ahsoka
Ahsoka
episodes.
episodes with
Mhm.
Those
one
are-
of our resident animation experts, Ashley Brienzo.
Was it a review or was it a watch along? I can't remember what
We
it
did a
was.
It
watch
was a watch
along.
along.
Yeah, we did
So
watch along.
only
Yeah.
watch along Jedi Archives have done. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. And then we did the Life Day issue number 1.
Mhm.
Reviewed that and saw all the different variant covers. So that was pretty fun.
I loved how
And
they
then
had
that was fun.
incorporated a lot of Batu. And since
Yes,
we're residents of
lot.
Batu, it was really cool to see home. So
Mhm. And then we introduced the High Republic Phase 3 with Marvel's the High Republic Shadows of oh no.
Yes, Shadow Starlight kicked it off.
Oh yeah, Shadows of Starlight and
Just
Dark
for
Horse Comics The High
cities.
Republic, and finished up with Marvel's Dark Droids D Squad 4-episode limited comic series. That was what we finished up with. The Dark Droids D Squad, and that's the end of it. So
Yeah,
and like
the
you mentioned
D
a little
Squad
bit,
was a lot of fun.
it was fun, lighthearted.
Just because of the droids.
Right.
You
I mean,
know,
you gotta
it's
love the
because
droids.
of the droids that were there. It was really cool to see like R2, D2 trying to recruit all these people to save the droids and really honestly save 3PO. You know, because 3PO is his best friend, but I love the fact that they incorporated R2 KT.
Right.
That was incredible. And the fact that R2 and KT had like a thing was really cool. I just the story behind that droid is incredible.
Heartwarming. Yes.
Seeing that it was in the Force Awakens, we you know we know the story. We know this. You know, you're ever at celebrations that that droid goes everywhere. So see it in live action, and then now see it in a comic book, but actually have a little bit more story behind it. It was really really cool.
And I like that C3PO was taken over by the Scourge. You know, he was infected and
Right.
he was evil. Because at first I'm like, wait a minute, is that 000?
It's now
But it
twice.
wasn't.
It's now happened to him twice.
Yes.
We got
I'm
the
like,
Scourge, and then Babu Frick took him over, and then he became
right.
like the Sith reader.
Red
and,
eyes.
so yeah. So,
but it was really cool. And then they thought at first he thought that he was on another planet, but that was actually 000. So
Yeah,
R2
yeah.
thought it was
yes.
C3PO causing havoc, but it was Trip.
And yeah. Well, and speaking of those droids, so because like D Squad and it was such a fun comic, off topic, Hasbro has just re-released BT1 and 000 Black Series figures in the red and black boxes.
Nice.
They're re-releases. They're not originals, but they are up and available either for pre-order or for sale right away. So
I think I have them. So that's the 000.
Oh, they're
that
great.
His
They're great.
eyes turn
Are
you
red.
put them in the refrigerator and they change color.
Well, Sideshow now has a 000 and BT1 as well. But if you're not wanting to spend $300 on a 12-inch collectible, the Black Series figures are really well done for those two. And even the Dr. Aphra.
And if I'm not mistaken, check the eyes because you put them in the freezer and the eyes change color.
I haven't opened mine, so mine is in the box. Mint.
I open my toys, so I put them in the freezer. Sure enough, yes, that's
Did it?
cool
All right,
Easter
that's
egg.
cool. No, the display case is going to go up, and then that's a different story. But right now, everything's in boxes.
So, John, any final words on Dark Droids?
Well, I don't know what your guys' favorite. Was that the last series we did?
Yep,
I don't know what your
That
guys'
was the last
favorite series or favorite issue of the year you did. And what do you recommend for anyone watching? What was one that they have to read?
Quest of the Jedi, because it's only one issue. It's easy to read. It's quick, and it's got sexy Jedi in there.
Okay, Mike. God, what's the like?
But also, I want to add to the Nameless Terror. So I'm going to put it all together: the High Republic Adventures, Dark Horse Comics, the Nameless Terror, and Quest of the Jedi as a bundle. Really good.
I like. I have to go because I think Jonathan's going to go. He can go either way, but
John goes both ways.
I really liked the Blade series. I really like the Blade series.
Blade series was good.
To me, that was probably my favorite series, and I don't know if it was issue 3 maybe was probably my favorite in that whole thing. But I was really well done. Like, it gave John a bunch of street cred because he's like, "Hey, I really want this," and then it happened. But that was a really cool series, and I love the Iliad and the Odyssey. So it, for me, it kind of tugged on like things that other properties that I've read. So,
John is strong with the Force because he's gotten a lot of things on the nose. So,
forgot what we were talking
more
about. It was like 2 or
example.
3 weeks ago, and I nailed whatever it was. But I can't
Just
remember.
one more example. So, John, what was
that's
your
something
favorite?
we did this year. We didn't talk about was I guess it wasn't Jedi Archives, but it was our after show of Bad Batch.
It was not Archives, yeah.
Yeah, but that was really
Bad
good
Batch.
too. That was
Yeah, we
So,
had a
John, what
good
was your
Batch.
favorite, John?
Do you want to talk
This
about
is
me being
Archives.
right?
No, this is Archives. What is your favorite
Remember,
about
I
Archives,
said Omega
John?
has no force.
It has nothing to do with Archives. So, what
this
was
has
your
nothing
favorite
to
about
do with what we're
Archives?
doing here.
Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. Be sure to.
I think the Blade was a strong contender. If you want to read something that's just great action, great lightsaber skills, Blade's great.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to go with the
You're going Dark Droids.
Yeah. And even D Squad's super fun, but Dark Droids was just another level. I mean,
it's a lot of reading though, so you got to be prepared to.
Yeah.
You can read everything all together, all the other issues together, or you could just read the Dark Droids issue, which was 6, I think, 5, 6.
Yeah. But if you do read everything else, it's a better story.
It is better. I didn't. I still loved what I read. I mean, the stuff you get to see.
I felt like
mutilated people with droid parts. You get to see a Sauron droid. Remember that he's looking. That's the Lord of the Rings thing. The greatest looking Star Destroyer ship ever, man.
Oh my
it was
gosh!
like
yes, when they took over
on its
all the
side.
spikes. Yeah.
Oh my god! And
Loved
you get
it.
to see Vader fight droids, and you actually get to see the droids kind of open up on him a little bit because Vader was like. He was vulnerable. He wasn't in his armor, so you get to see them toss him around.
Well, yeah, they drag him out of the back to tank.
They dragged him out and tossed him around.
Then
I was like,
"What?" Vader go supernova. Oh, that was so good.
That was cool.
I mean, it was just such a great series. Like I said, I give that 5 holograms.
There's where I feel that Lord of the Rings influence was definitely in the main Dark Droid series. Its Courage looked like just a nastier version of Sauron, and and the ship obviously too kind of reminded me of not Mount Doom, but
Barad-dûr outside the other tower.
Yes.
The other thing, though, about that series is kind of like the second half really reminded me of the old Transformers cartoon. How you had the Decepticons versus the Autobots because you ended up having droids versus droids, and they even have their own like little ship that goes on, and then it's a small crew. I just loved everything about that. What was Ajax? Yeah, Ajax was a super cool droid, and he goes back to the old High Republic too, right?
Correct. His origin stories,
right? Yeah. So his story's great, and
I'd love more of that. I would love more of that.
Well, I think they left it open, right? So there can be more stories. I think they left it open on purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah, and I mean, it ties into Kira a lot. She's pretty much the reason why it all opens up.
Well, she opened up Pandora's box. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think it was a great series. Cool. So I definitely recommend.
Well, yeah, and there's a bunch of great comic book series that have come out. That I'd almost like to go back and review because of like War of the Bounty Hunters and all of that was all Kira focused.
And they're all connected too.
They're all connected. Was Crimson Reign and whatever the other one. That was just beautifully because it picks up basically when Boba leaves.
And you know what's nice too?
Cloud City.
What's nice about it now is that you can go back because as they were coming out, some were delayed, so there were some spoilers. But if you read them now that they've all been released, and then read them in the correct order, which you can find easily in the listing in the back of the comics,
or UTNE is a great resource.
That's right. That's right. Read them in the collection order, like what you should read first, and then it's a really. I think it could also be. I would consider it like a novel. It
is, and you got to read all the crossovers. Like you could read War of the Bounty Hunters, but there's a lot that goes through like the main books, and there's some one shots
Mhm.
in there. Like there's a Jabba one shot in there that's really
Yeah,
good.
because I did read everything, and I did appreciate all the connections. Because
It's
you guys
like
know I love all the
32
connections.
comics.
Yeah, it's a bunch. It's a
It's
bunch,
it's lengthy.
but it's definitely enjoyable. They're all really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So
So that was our year review. Please stay with us another year. We're gonna do as many more as we can.
Yeah,
We're
a
gonna
lot
do
more after
lot.
shows, including the Acolyte coming up here in a couple days.
maybe some more mini watch-alongs.
might Skeleton Crew might be out here by the end of the year. So there's that.
Maybe.
Maybe we can get, a Star Wars Resistance watch along. I said it. I said it.
Not the
I
Season
love it.
3, baby.
I love it.
I'm out.
Young Jedi Adventures.
I'm out too.
John's definitely out.
I don't know why we haven't reviewed that just for
I love it,
giggles.
you
Have
guys.
they wrapped
It's
up
such a
season
great
one?
show.
Do they have seasons? I don't know what's going on. Is it
They
No.
just keep
continues to go?
adding to the
Episodes. They keep
season,
adding
though. Like
episodes.
they keep
Mhm.
adding like 3 to 6 episodes like every
How many
single
are they
week.
at right now?
25 now. 25. I
Yeah,
think.
25.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe
Sophia
when they finish
loves
the
it.
season, you guys can do a season.
And then I
review.
can highlight all the actual places on Batu that are that way because of the Young Jedi Adventures.
Yeah, and it's funny. I was reading an article that compared the locations, and they said, "Yeah, this is right, this is right," but then they had some places that weren't right at all. So, like, obviously, it's fake.
You shush.
Like the stand where you always see Chewie and the droids and the pit crew area, that's not in the show. So, yeah, it's got to be fake.
Those came about afterwards. All right. Well, thank you
we
for
do
joining us,
appreciate
everybody.
you watching. And go ahead, Mike. You can ticker tape it away.
Be sure you're following us on YouTube at Virtual Cantina Network, on Instagram at virtual.cantina network, on X, formerly Twitter, at Cantina Virtual, and on Threads at virtual.cantina network, on Hive at Virtual Cantina, and on TikTok at Virtual Cantina. And like the VCN Star Wars Celebration Japan 2025 Facebook page, our creator is right here. Here's the maker, Jonathan Chiato himself. And shout out to our sister pages, Star Wars Comic Book Nerds and Star Wars Comic Book Club.
I mean, book nerds. Shout out to that group of
Star Wars Book Nerds. Yes, sorry.
Shout out to that group, and Star Wars Comic Book Club.
And be sure to like and follow us and put comments, and I'll reply. I promise.
Please comment. It's a community. We want to talk to you guys, and Mike loves to talk to you guys. I bring it up. So we all love it. So please comment. We really appreciate it.
And if there's any comics you want us to review in the future, let us know, and we'll pull them in.
Maybe. We'll have to discuss it. But we will listen to suggestions.
All right. Well, may the force be with you. And here's to a
May the
upcoming
force
year.
be with you.